I'm pretty confident that most Bears fans are totally expecting Sunday afternoon to see some good old Bears football, and a double dose of it, mind you. Because not only do the Bears play Bears football, but when you look at the opponent that's coming into Soldier Field, that wasteland dump of a stadium, fucking third-rate ass field, you're bringing in former Bears head coach Lovie Smith. And you know his team is all about playing Bears football. So everybody's got that anticipation. It's going to be a low-scoring, run-the-ball, defense-first type of game. And Bears football. But obviously, the big storyline here, a relatively big storyline here, is that Lovie Smith is coming back to face his old team in Chicago again. Maybe this would be a bigger deal if it didn't happen back when Lovie was the head coach in Tampa and came to Soldier Field in 2014 and the Bears won. And then Lovie faced the Bears again in 2015 and the Bears won. Like maybe if this was the first time he was coming back to Soldier Field, first time taking on the Bears as a head coach somewhere else, maybe it's a big deal. I don't look at it as a particularly big deal. Here's the other thing I know, is that a lot of Bears fans, have some really warm feelings towards Lovie Smith. And I have a certain amount of respect and appreciation for him in his 9 years in Chicago. There's no question, even though it doesn't say much, that he is easily the second best head coach in my lifetime that the Bears have had, and the third greatest head coach in organization's history. That's beyond dispute. But you've got a lot of Bears fans that swear by Lovie Smith and love Lovie Smith to no end, and they're like, he was wronged, he should have never been fired. And I say, fuck all of that. Fuck Lovie Smith. This is the same dumbass, that's what I said, dumbass, that had it going fine in 2005. I know Kyle Orton was a rookie 4th-round pick, and he was playing quarterback because Grossman was hurt. Gee, imagine that. And he wasn't great, but you know what? The Bears were winning, but they just had to shoehorn fucking Sexy Rexy in there, and how'd that work out? Then you come back the next year, you actually make it to the Super Bowl, and what a goddamn crock of shit it is, that in that fucking first quarter of the Bears game against the Colts, Devin Hester house call, like opening kickoff return for a touchdown. Thomas Jones's first carry was a 52-yard run. And remember a little bit later, Chris Harris with the interception. And for some particular reason, Lovie Smith just couldn't leave the fucking defense alone on the biggest stage, and the execution and approach, the game plan on defense was a fucking abortion. And let's not even get to the offense. I don't give a fuck if you want to make an excuse about Cedric Benson got hurt. That changed the game plan. It shouldn't have changed shit. Thomas Jones had 15 carries in that damn Super Bowl. Even if you take away the 52-yard run, he still was averaging over 4 yards a carry. That Colts run defense was historically awful, especially without Bob Sanders. And even with Bob Sanders in by that time in the playoffs, they still weren't a very good unit. Run the fucking ball, Lovie. I know you feel like, well, why the hell would this guy of all guys say run the fucking football? It's the Super Bowl. That's the approach you have to take against the opponent that you had. Minimize the time that Peyton Manning has the ball in his hands. Because if you put the pressure on him, you know he's going to choke all over his fucking self. Because that's what Peyton Manning would do. But no, Lovie Smith didn't overrule Ron Turner and let Ron Turner try to play fucking hero ball with Rex Grossman. That was absolutely a winnable Super Bowl 41 for the Bears. In fact, it should have been a fucking blowout. And you want me to have warm and fuzzy feelings about Lovie Smith? Fuck that and fuck you. Same Lovie Smith that a few years later was the coach when the Bears lost the NFC Championship game in Soldier Field to the goddamn Packers. The same Packers team that the only reason they got to that spot was because they beat the Bears in Soldier Field the last week of the season, that 7-3 snooze fest. That fucking Lovie Smith. Hell no. I sit there and bow down and kiss his ass? For what? Because he was in a position to bring a second Super Bowl title to Chicago, and in large part because of his failed leadership, his goddamn stubbornness. We're 10-2 with Rex as our quarterback. Guys, Rex is our quarterback. You fucking idiot! Don't sit there and tell me I gotta be all reminiscent and warm and fuzzy about Lovie Smith. Bullshit! Any other time I see Lovie Smith coming into town with another team, I want the Bears to beat the brakes off him like 50 because fuck him! Now let's talk about the goddamn game. The Houston Texans are coming to Soldier Field to play the Bears. Here comes Lovie Smith and his team sitting at 0-1-1. And you look at last Sunday's performance, like defensively they played pretty well against the Broncos team that's certainly been underwhelming so far with new head coach Nathaniel Hackett and new starting quarterback Russell Wilson. But they ended up gagging away the game in the fourth quarter. Their defense is basically playing a bend but don't break style, which, you know, Lovie Smith's defenses can do from time to time. Giving up a lot of yards, but not giving up a lot of points. Only gave up 20 points in the tie with the Colts in week 1, 16 to the Broncos last week. Davis Mills has been okay, but certainly nothing great or special. But it's not like he has a lot of weapons to work with on offense either, outside of Brandon Cooks. That's about it. Meanwhile, for the Bears, they're 1-1, and gee, imagine that. Yet another crappy primetime performance Sunday night against the Green Bay Packers. That was peak Bears football! The defense sucked. They sucked. And Bears fans are going to make excuses because that's the one elite thing that the Bears organization and Bears fans do, is make fucking excuses. It was the refs. Well, if the offense can't stay in the field, the defense is going to get worn down. Fuck that. Stop making goddamn excuses. Everybody sucked on Sunday. Everybody sucked. But, like, as much as the defense sucked, the offense, good fucking grief. Oh, the Bears need to run the ball more. David Montgomery had 120-plus yards rushing, and the Bears got their shit rocked. The fuck you talking about? You gotta run the ball. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Justin Fields, instead of looking like the face of the franchise, looks more like Craig Krenzel with some damn mobility. 2 games, 28 pass attempts, 191 passing yards. I said before the season it's 4,000 yards passing or bust for Justin Fields. At this point, he's trending towards 1,700. Less than that. That's pathetic. Throw the goddamn ball, Jesse, you tool. But yeah, that's what's got a lot of people thinking that this is going to be a low-scoring and boring game, and more likely than not, it will be. Now, these are exactly the type of games, though, that can end up being exciting, thrilling shootouts, but you got 2 defensive minds, it ain't going to be nothing like that. In terms of the injury report for this matchup, the Bears will be without Velus Jones Jr. again. I mean, you know, hey, that's a way to build anticipation for what you could do, is never actually see the field with the hamstring injury. They're also going to be without starting linebacker Matt Adams and backup tight end Ryan Griffin. For the Texans, they'll be without a couple of role players like Brevin Jordan and so forth, Isaac Yiadom, but nothing truly critical or significant. And frankly, same thing for the Bears. So the core of both of these teams, their most important players, are all going to play, at least it seems like on the surface. And some of you might say, well, Roquan's got a hip injury, so he's questionable, to which I would say, if he didn't play right now, would you really notice? Would you? Would you really? Because I sure as hell wouldn't. That's all I'm going to say. In terms of, you look at this matchup, the keys to success. For the Houston Texans, frankly, it's run the ball in this Bears defense. Because the Bears defense had all types of troubles stopping Aaron Jones in the Packers running game last week. You know, that goes right into the style of ball that Lovie Smith likes to play. Run the damn ball on this Bears defense and make them prove that they can stop you. Because the Bears right now are 32nd in yards allowed against the run. So you got to go after that weakness and force the Bears to throw. Like, stack the box if you must. You know, only sit there and, you know, play. How do I put this? Assume that Justin Fields sucks until proven otherwise, and do everything you can to put the game in his hands, and he has to win it. Like, if you're an opposing coaching staff, why wouldn't you do that? You'd be insane not to. And for the Chicago Bears, there are three keys to this game. Throw the goddamn ball. Throw the goddamn ball. And no. Throw the goddamn ball! No more run-first approach. No more conservative-ass attack. This is stupid. The number one goal of this season is to find out what you have in Justin Fields. The number one goal of this season is not only to find out what you have in Justin Fields, but actually help him develop because you hope to God he can become the fucking franchise guy. The number one way you don't do that is you act scared of Justin Fields. You don't trust Justin Fields. You don't give him an opportunity to see what the hell he can or cannot do. So throw the goddamn ball. Winning a game like this 16-13 and he throws like 15 times is stupid. Oh, but the Bears would be 2-1. It doesn't fucking matter. What can you not understand about this? That would be the epitome of, you guessed it, Bears football. Throw the damn ball, Getsy. Early, repeatedly, throughout the entire game. Unbelievable. Throw the ball. 14 pass attempts a game. Is this the 1970s? No. So start play calling like it. Fucking idiots. Anyways, when you come to this matchup, we might be in store for a typical Bears football type of defense first running game type of fucking snooze fest. How appropriate that would be with Lovie Smith in town. You could say, well, key turnovers will be a key to this game as both teams in the defensive style that they play, is about kind of that hits philosophy, is about trying to force turnovers, and that could absolutely be a key part here. But whatever team can hit more big plays on offense is going to be the team that wins. In terms of my prediction for this game, I'll take the Bears to win like 20-16, but I don't feel good about it. Maybe Bears fans hope this will be a big bounce back. But the nightmare scenario here is that the Bears defense forces a couple turnovers. Montgomery and Herbert have a big game on the ground, and then Justin Fields doesn't have to do much. I don't want to win games like that. Why? If you want to sit there and win games like that, then you're part of the problem. Because that means nothing is changing and it's the same old shit. And if it was going to be like that, then you might as well have kept Trubisky and never bother drafting Justin Fields, right? I mean, seriously. You drafted Justin Fields. I know it was a previous regime, but the new regime came in because you would have assumed that they believed in Justin Fields to some degree. Well, it is time to fucking put the game on him. It is time to build the offense around him. It is time to tailor your game plan around him. Not your damn running game, not your damn defense. So if the Bears lose on Sunday, but Fields has a great game, man, I'm happy. If the Bears win on Sunday, but Fields has a bad game, or they only throw like 15, 18 times, I'm going to be all types of fucking aggravated. Because I'm thinking big picture here. While some of y'all are sitting there just desperate because of the mediocrity of this organization and wanting to be satisfied with a goddamn chance at being the 7th seed and being a wild card team so you could go lose on the road somewhere in the opening round and be embarrassed for the whole country to see. I'm trying to see this team get to a position where someday they could contend for championships. So we're not built the same, and your approach is fucking dumb. It is wrong, and aren't you tired of it by now? Throw the damn ball, Getsy! Who gives a shit about the final score? Because that's what this season's about, is developing Justin Fields.